What is good, YouTube? This is That One Camera Guy here, back at it again with another video. And what you're seeing right now is the 5D Mark IV recording in motion JPEG. We get this question a lot: can you record wide on the 5D Mark IV? And I'm showing you right now, you absolutely can. We're going to find out how to do that today. Let's jump into it. Now, what I'm going to be going over in this video is some tips and tricks that you can use for video on the 5D Mark IV. Now, I haven't had a lot of time to explore every little nook and cranny about the camera, but hopefully I can give you some good advice to get you going. One of the newest cool features on the 5D Mark IV is the fact that you can now reassign buttons on it, which may not seem like a big deal, but Canon has finally allowed you to use the shutter button on the camera as your start and stop trigger for recording video. Can you believe that? Now, the GH4 already did this, and it's something that the Sony cameras still cannot do. But Canon finally decided to allow the users to set their shutter button to start and stop recording. That's number one. Hope you'll enjoy that one. So number two is the SD card slot. Now, Canon crippled effectively the SD card slot in the 5D Mark III, but in the 5D Mark IV, they really unleashed the UHS-1. Now, I was very quick to criticize Canon because they didn't put CFast, but they at least updated the SD card slot so that it takes full advantage of the transfer rate. If you pick up a SanDisk Extreme Pro ProSDXC card, you can record 4K motion JPEG onto that card. It's going to save you a lot of money, and you can record up to 512 gigabytes on those big giant SDXC cards, and 512 gigabytes translates to 2 hours of recording. Now, number three, if you were worried about the fact that there's no C-Log, I understand. I totally understand your concern. If you're still looking for a way to get a flat picture profile, Technicolor CineStyle is still available to users on the Canon 5D Mark IV. You can also go ahead and check the EOS HD website, where Andrew Reed has actually come up with a similar C-Log picture profile that you can download. Now, it does cost a little bit of money, but you can go ahead and head over there and find out what that's all about. Number four, 120 frames per second at 720p. I know it may not seem like a lot or seem that great. Obviously, if you're exporting to 4K, it's not going to look that good. But if you're exporting out to 1080p, 720p at 120 frames per second isn't that bad at all. Now, number five is the touchscreen. I know it is the most obvious thing about the 5D Mark IV, but go ahead and actually take advantage of it, use it, and activate that option to get the most out of this camera. The touch focusing and the face tracking is really good, and it's what's being used right now to track my face. So number six, now what do you do when you have large files from Motion JPEG? You should probably work on your main file projects using Motion JPEG, but when you're done with those projects, you may want to consider using ProRes LT in order to downsize a lot of your Motion JPEG files. Individuals that I've seen online have mentioned that the quality difference is not really noticeable. Those of you that are on Windows, you'll have to consider looking at DNx HD as far as the conversion format. I don't know all the details on that particular format, so you're going to have to do a little bit more research, but there is a way to reduce the file sizes on Motion JPEG. Number seven, what do you do about wide-angle lenses? What really sucks is that Canon EFS lenses don't work on the 5D Mark IV, and because of that crop factor, you're going to get a 1.74 crop factor on top of your actual full-frame glass. Now, what you can do to stay on budget is find cheaper Sigma, Tamron, and even Tokina lenses that are meant for APS-C. You can look at the Sigma 18-35. I've got the cheaper Sigma 17-50, which can be had for pretty cheap. There's also the Tokina 11-16. So there is a lot of options to get wide-angle glass for the 5D Mark IV. You are restricted a little bit, but there's ways to do it. You just gotta be creative and look hard for those options. Well, folks, that's all I got for you in this video. If you found it helpful, consider giving it a like. And if you do want to see more content about the 5D Mark IV, consider subscribing. And with that said, I'm your host, That One Camera Guy, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.